deal and it stopped, so you're back on again.
Okay, thank you.
I know more than you didn't know, but it's going now.
I hate for that community to do that. It's a real good community. I mean, I spent my summer there.
It's over there.
North of there.
It's a very Hispanic town.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a ranching town.
Matthew McConaughey's from there.
My best friend, his
fresh
grandma and grandpa lived right there on the highway. We could spend summer down there with them.
Anyway.
How far from the border?
Probably about 60 miles, I'm guessing, to Eagle Pass, that direction, something like that. About an hour's drive, I'm just thinking, because I go to that HEB and move out and then Eagle Pass.
So I read in the paper, pilot, that's the contractor they got.
We walked,
Yeah, just.
Yeah, he walked.
and walked, that's right.
I just read that when I was before I came in.
And
It
lost
was
their
doing-
performance bond on two of them.
But they have
Yeah.
insurance.
So they provide a performance bond to the city or county, whoever it is.
So where does the money come from to pay for the new people?
Out of this performance bond and unpaid to that contract.
And which contractor is this?
The one doing all of the
Storm drain?
BCI.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think it was BCI or something like
Yeah.
that.
they go bankrupt or what was it?
Sometimes.
Said they just can't afford to do the job with increased cost of material and diesel and everything.
Information
They walk.
along with your.
Well, like, you know,
What their
reading
performance
that.
bond
There were
is.
times I'd say, yeah, but right now that's, could be a really good excuse.
Well, I think if you're a reputable company, you have some kind of,
That's the kind of thing that would
you know.
kind of put you out of business, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, what a mess over.
I think they had like, they only had a few stories on there, so they figured there was something that they were working out of the whole deal. And one of them just right here on the end,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, if it doesn't happen by a certain time.
Another one on the market, the ship that's somewhere.
Yeah, but I mean, they pulled the plug quick, because I did some stuff, helping out with the church, Presbyterian church. And I went down there and, you know, go through the maze of streets to get there. And they were still, you know, graders going back and forth, and that was like Thursday, maybe Thursday last week. Yeah.
They got the call from the accountant, said, "You gotta
Shut it down.
I couldn't hear you.
No, no. This is his glove.
Well, look at how long it's taken for that bridge to come in.
Over in Corpus?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And even the one to Fialegro, I thought they never started
Oh, yeah.
construction on
Yeah,
that.
sure.
I thought that was supposed to be.
Well, they can call me whatever was easier.
Yeah. It's not, and it's not a good sign when one of your pieces of construction equipment falls into it.
No, it's not.
But how do you get insurance on that?
It's insurance. There was a piece of rental, but I believe they rented that equipment, so we have a policy.
No, I mean just. how do you get Insurance for the bridge.
I don't know if they drove off of it, I don't.
No, I didn't even draw off of it. I thought
They
it was-
collapsed.
They were on the old part.
Yeah, it's on the old
Oh,
one.
it's on the old one?
Wow, that's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
I never done that.
Oh.
Oh, who are we waiting on? Oh, that's a good question.
1:30. Oh, it's 1:30.
Okay,
It's 5 on the dock.
I meant to do double sided, but I
I just hope it comes.
So now, your next move is just. Wait to hear from
You know what's on tap?
I haven't seen it.
Do they not call and say I'm not coming? They just.
Wonder why? They just accepted the old one.
I think some people, maybe they're chicken out because they're. Sounds like a good idea at the time.
Oh,
Yeah, they've had a few drinks and nervous.
Next, oh,
This
This is not the time to lunch, we have few drinks.
At this time of day.
Well, and that makes sense. I mean, you brought the darn thing in.
Telephone?
It's gonna be, at least one or two phone hearings.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have no place to go. I'm home early, took care of my dog, I went to the business, I'm done, so.
Yeah, I went home, let the wife run to town, and I fed the dogs lunch. We had our 45 minutes together.
You know, isn't it crazy? I mean, some of these candidates are shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah,
He does
all of them.
that thing, and then, what's her name?
Stacey
Abrams, who says,
I can't believe she said that.
I know.
What, I didn't hear, what did she?
well, it was last week,
I
and
don't know where she had her head at. It wasn't that.
she said Georgia is the worst place in the US to live.
She said what, then she said why.
Yeah, she explained it.
Yeah.
I couldn't
And,
believe that.
Did she have?
And the reason was,
no,
No, they were all typical incidents for the rest of the country, you know, high unemployment, or, I'm just making myself up, but they're all things that were not particular to Georgia.
and then, of course, the
I
next
don't
day,
watch
she tries to
news.
walk back, so.
try not to
What I
watch
really
news.
meant to say,
So we used to watch Fox 24 hours a day, but I can't.
Yes, right.
With it anymore.
Oh, I can't watch,
I watch Kennedy at night and that's it.
we watched
You
the
just
game
keep
show
pushing
channel.
Exactly.
Tom and I love all those game shows.
and I've
that are
gotten
on.
to the Smithsonian channel.
That, the history, and also, I love to watch, crime, movies and
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
I love Snap shows.
My wife likes to do the HLN with,
Oh, yeah, HG,
HDT.
no.
The Magnolia.
This is, it's, oh, darn, what is it? It's a crime thing, right?
uh-huh.
And it's interesting over the years, she's watched it for a couple of years, how it's,
so when is it?
it,
Oh.
I'll think of it, okay?
Not
But
Snap.
it used to be, you know, that people would be killed by their spouses using
Snap.
antifreeze.
Snap.
Antifreeze is
It's
always
Snap.
a good.
Snap, I love Snap. Tom says he started worrying when he saw me taking notes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the first case is number 176. It will be a phone hearing. 176, the account number is 33214. Name is Brooks. Robert Brooks.
Yeah, page 5.
Page 5.
And all the iPads.
The first one.
214 is the first one.
I'm sorry.
Okay, are we ready?
Sure.
Are we live?
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, this is Robert Brooks.
Yes, it is.
This is the appraisal review board calling for your protest hearing.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon, Robert.
Good afternoon.
I have a few bits of administration to go through first, and then we'll get you engaged in this hearing. So we are.
All right, sounds good.
We are commencing a hearing on case ID 2022-176, account number 33214. Smith and Wood, block 210, lot 1, and 50 feet, closing of Cedar Street adjacent to lot 1. This hearing is being recorded. So let's verify what we have under protest.
Incorrect market value.
Okay. We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. We do not work,
Okay.
we do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. The comptroller's office provides an electronic survey for you to offer feedback about your experience today that may be accessed at the appraisal district office or online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey ARB. This survey is voluntary, and since I don't expect you to have remembered what I just said in terms of URLs, that information will also be in the determination package, which you will receive after the hearing is concluded. You'll receive that in the mail.
All right.
You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will also be provided to you with our determination, again, that you will receive in the mail after the hearing.
Thank you, Barbara. Have a great day.
In accordance with tax code section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. So this is important. We just want to I want to verify that you have provided all of your evidence that you'll be using during the hearing. Is that correct?
Yeah, I didn't really have any evidence. I didn't see any evidence.
And that's fine. We just need to verify that you don't anticipate trying to introduce anything else that hasn't been submitted. Okay, the ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Scott Waggart, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with a person in violation of tax code 41.66F.
I, Joanne Ferguson, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66F.
Ron McCann, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66F.
I, Peggy Berg, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66F.
Okay, all testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath, and I'm assuming since we do have a copy of your signed and notarized affidavit that you are in fact under oath.
Yes.
I do solemnly swear, I, Ray Preston, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District.
This is really private.
I do appreciate it.
Okay, Mr. Brooks, I need to ask if you hold a license or certificate from the Texas Appraisers Licensing and Certification Board.
We can do it before. You want to?
You got a lot going on, I can barely hear you.
Okay, I need to ask if you hold a license or certificate from the Texas Appraisers Licensing and Certification Board.
No, sir.
Okay, that's fine. We just need to ask the question. All right, in the package of information that you received from the appraisal district, you should have a page that says hearing procedure times. Do you have that available?
Hearing procedure times. I got the package, I haven't went to the point. And
It's a table that's got two columns on it. One is if you present first, or the other column is if the district presents first. That's okay. It's not a problem. We'll step you through it as we need. The point is that you have the option of presenting your evidence, your case first, or you can have the appraisal district present first, and that's a choice that you have to make.
okay, I think it's the one that says hearing procedure times.
That's correct.
Okay.
Do you want to go first, or would you like the district to go first?
No, the district can go first, like I said. I'm just here to listen and see what we can do about it, if there's anything to do about it. So yeah, the y'all can go first. I'll listen.
Okay, very good.
Alrighty, so this protest is for a piece of land that's on Pearl Street. So It's right around the corner from here. Got back on Pearl and headed towards, what's that, Memorial Park, you pass that. And this property, if Scott, if you don't mind pulling this property up on Picto. Mr. Brooks, I'm gonna show the review board where it is on the map. You won't be able to see it on the phone. If you will put it on the thing that's the, what's that thing called? You know, the one that, yeah, mosaic. You put it there and zoom out till you get to Sabinal. There you go, stop right there. That's perfect. Okay, just, there's that lot. That's the subject property lot. Okay, comp number one. Comp number one's kind of important. The comp, it's a lot that's about the same size, or is the same size, and sold for $57,500 on Dowdy Street in September. So Dowdy is going to be 5 or 6 blocks back that way. Oh no, sorry, I'm way off. Right. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 blocks. There's Dowdy. Okay. Now I said, Scott, did you move this thing?
I did.
Oh,
'Cause it's over
sorry,
here.
guys. Put it back on the. Go ahead and go back to where we were. Yeah, it was further than 6. Okay. Comp number 2. I'm doing all of this to show you. Comp number 2 is. Comp number 2 is, where's Pearl? This Pearl, comp number 2 is that. That's comp number 2. And comp number 2 sold in March of 22 for $80,000. Same size, same location. And then the next 2 comps are land sales. One's on North Live Oak, one is on North Ann. Ann is also right behind us. And that's a same size lot, sells in March of 21 for $60,000. Only difference between this lot and the subject lot is not on Pearl Street and is that road. So those are the sales. Those are the reasons for the change in value. The next thing we need to check is equity. And this is a 12,800 square foot lot for valued at $80,000. Comp number 1 is a 12,800 square foot lot valued at $80,000. Comp number 2, same thing. It's on Alameda Street, same value. And comp number 3 is also the same. So the equity portion bears out and the sales portion also bears out. The appraisal district agrees that that is a large number. $80,000, that's $6.25 a square foot. That's a big increase, and it's just congruent as you head east. The values are like that as you head east. So once you get to Church Street, Magnolia, Austin Wood, that area has always had these kind of values, or not always. For the last 3 years, this is new to this area. This was a new change this year.
Market increase.
It was based on that right there. That cell, you couple that cell with the cell on Ann Street, that's for $60,000. That's one thing back. Start arriving at pretty high value.
So comp number 3.
Is on North Live Oak. It's a better lot.
Is that the one you pointed to?
No, comp number 3, I didn't point to. It's a much better lot. And you'll notice that it sold for a large number. It sold for $83,000 and it's only 8,000 square feet, but it's also better. So it's a comp in the fact that it's in the same area and all that good stuff, but it's also better. So it bears that the subject should be valued at 130, which is ridiculous. But it does that because of the betterness of that lot.
Okay, Robert, you have 2 minutes to cross-examine Ray and 5 minutes for your presentation, so 7 minutes if you need them.
No, I don't need that part. Like I said, all I got is, I got the equity deal on the grid here, on the my structure, on the Grove Street. And you know, mine, you got comp number 1, which is, not 101 South on Grove Street. And that one there, you're actually basing that on a lot, and a mobile home on that one. And then the comp number 2, you don't have anything on that. All I can tell you, you can't really base a lot on something that's got a mobile home on it for one. That's just the comp number 1. The other thing is I know I'm on Grove Street, but I'm not in no neighborhood. I'm off the main, that kind of the main drag, or kind of just the outskirts there. I understand the neighborhoods are gonna go more, just because there's more housing in there, there's more development, and your area's gotta be kept a little bit nicer in there, because you're kind of in that neighborhood, right? I do understand, I know there's a lot of the rules and regulations we all have down there, because I'm not one that lives down there, I just bought that lot. I do got a house on the side of me, it's an older peak home, kind of ragged down a little bit, and I also have a house across me, that's an old rag down house, and also I have a lot that is an easement for the city. I just think the 80,000 is a little bit much just for that lot to be an empty lot right there. I didn't pay the 80, I didn't really pay the 80,000 for it, and if it was 80,000, I probably wouldn't have bought it, I probably would have looked for something else. I didn't cheaper on that. So that's pretty much all I got right there. I don't have a lot to talk about on it. I just purchased that lot by like a year and a half ago. And I really haven't did anything to it. If I could put it on the market at 80,000, I'd get rid of it. But I know I wouldn't be able to get that for that lot over in that area. It's because the market value is 80,000, I don't know if you're gonna give them 80,000 for it. So if you're not gonna get it, then why appraise it at 80,000?
Okay, anything else you want to add? You still have time?
Yeah, I don't have a lot more to say. That's just how I see it. It was a lot nicer neighborhood, like back over there by the golf course area. I can understand the heat plus, but the area I'm in, you know, right down the street, I've also got a sewage plant. Sometimes you can smell that thing. So, you know, there's a lot of incidents right in there. I know they're kind of cleaning the area up a little bit in the parks right down the street there, but to me, I don't think it's an $80,000 area. That's pretty much all I got.
Oh, it hasn't, Mr. Brooks, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you don't kind of want to go over in that room, but I can hear you.
Yes, we don't have doors, so.
I got you.
The 40,000, the lot that you bought, was that a market transaction? I didn't even look at the time. Was it listed?
It was listed. It was listed, yes, it was.
Okay, no problem. I guess my only response would be saying you can't get 80 when someone just paid 80. I'm not sure that you're right.
Well, I don't think you're going to get 80 just because of the area. You move closer in the suburbs, I think you would have no problem over there. If I can get 80, I put a for sale sign right now.
But just so that you know, the person bought the one for 80, they're 1 block away. On the same street.
Okay.
So they're pretty stinking close. I understand the number is high. I would agree with you. I would have been happier if they would have paid 60. But they didn't. So it's kind of, it's just part of the land around here. It's just hard to deal with. The value is hard to deal with.
Yeah. You can't base it all on one cell.
And we're not, because we're using other sales, you know, we're using other sales to arrive at that number. So, you know what,
And what was the size of the lot that sold? Was it the exact same size as mine, or were they bigger?
yeah, so that's a good question. So the first one, the answer is yes. The second one, the answer is yes. The third one, the answer is no, but they paid 83.7 for it. And it's,
Do you have the sizes of those two lots, the first and the second one?
yeah, they're the same size, 12,800.
Okay, and I can read that.
What is the square footage of footage?
12,800. And then comp number 3 is 8,192.
Affidavit of evidence.
And comp number 4 is 12,800. The comps are solid from the standpoint of characteristics.
This is.
The only reason the 8,000 square foot comp is in there is to sort of show that this isn't an outlier. It's not an outlier for someone to pay 80 for 12,000 square feet when someone paid 80 for 8,000 square feet. What, it probably has more to do with supply and demand than anything else. I'm done.
Robert, you have 2 minutes. Do you have any additional questions, comments?
No, the only comments I got is if one lot goes for 80 and it's on the same lot, we need to go through all the areas. I can understand if there's 2 or 3 or 4 lots that you had proof on that side that they would sell for 80,000. But basically it's off of one sale that's right next door to nothing else. The rest of them are on down feedback, and then finally going back toward March, back over that way. I'm not right on the street, I'm not on one approach. And like I said, you can't base something off one sensitive evidence to base $80,000 on market value or something.
Okay, Ray, you're through?
Yeah, well, let me just add that he is absolutely right. He is absolutely right. Anytime an appraisal district puts all their eggs in on one cell, there's a bit of desperation to it. We do it every once in a while. There's a bit of desperation to it. Sometimes you realize you shouldn't. In this case, we're showing 4 comps. These 4 comps are not far from each other. And so I don't know what to do with that, other than to say it's probably the market, probably where it's sitting. So.
Robert, you have 1 minute. Once you finish.
Yeah. Well, like I said, a while ago, whether the market is the market, I need more evidence on that area than those lots are going for that. You just cannot take on one sale. You know, that one sale might have been a funny deal or something, like give me this, we'll pay something out for this. You just can't do that. If he had 5 or 6 lots in that area that sold to them, there's only like one other one that's close to me, and we're trying to base one lot on 4 or 5 lots that are scattered throughout. That's all I've got.
Okay, thank you. Ray, you're all right. Then the appraisal review board now has 5 minutes to deliberate over this case.
Can we zoom Picto out a little bit, because I'd like to get a better sense of, I see the one at 33169. Okay, so the other 3.
One's down on the corner. One's 33169.
No, the 33169 is right next to
I
33169.
thought this was one of the ones that you sold.
Yeah, that's 33169.
That's the other one that sold for 80,000.
That is the one that sold for 80,000 down the street. And then we've got,
The others are just 2 or 3 streets over.
yeah, Dowdy and Live Oak and North End.
And they're all the same size.
With the exception, yes, those are all the same size.
Yeah, where's the live oak one? It's
What's the number?
114, you want the?
PID.
Yeah, 32413.
That's why we just literally saw that 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, it's way better.
Wait, but
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said, that's why I was real careful with that one. Just say that is a way better lot.
Okay, how about 33?
And then we'll just wait here for you guys.
226.
Yeah, you put up here that you wanted it in.
Yeah, that's on hand.
Prior to their hearing schedule.
Yeah.
Right behind it.
Yeah.
Right.
That was 60,000 in March of 2021.
So when did you buy this property? Robert,
About a year probably about a year and a half ago, I think,
how much did you pay for
right
it?
around in there.
If I can ask.
I paid 39 for it.
I'm sorry, how many?
39.
I paid 39,000 for it.
On your form, sir, what did you put down as what you thought was the value?
What I thought was the value, I didn't put anything down, but my value on that lot, if you're asking me, I gave the 39 for it. I think between 39 and 40 is fair, but I don't think anything over 40 is going to be right because it was an empty lot with nothing on it.
That was 2 years ago, year and a half ago.
Year and a half. Yes.
I'm thinking of 60, but it's gonna, in some respects, it's a penny in, a penny later, because next year it's gonna go back up again. Yeah. I mean, when I look at the others. Yeah.
If you took the one on Live Oak out of the grid, you said, hey, I don't want that, anymore, which is fine. Then you're looking at like a 70, it's gonna basically split 80 and 60. And it's gonna say 70, you know what I mean? That's what it's gonna,
Yeah.
that other data is gonna get out of the way. That's perfectly fine to do something like that. There's not a problem. That's even, you could even say like from an appraisal standpoint, to get that data out of that data set, that's no problem with that. But you're still at, I mean, yeah, you're still at, you know, pretty high number. But not at 8.
About 65.
Okay.
65. That takes the data out and.
He does have some other issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Robert, I'm gonna make a motion on your protest. Case number, ID number 2022-176, account number 33214. Addressing incorrect appraised market value, appraisal ratio exceeding the median level of appraisal. Taking into consideration information provided by the district as well as information provided by the protester. ARB is going to reduce the value of your lot from $80,000 to $65,000.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Hey, Robert, did you understand what we just did?
I understand what you did, but you did have one, I have one question for you. That $60,000 lot, they didn't have any structures on it?
No, just a second, let us know.
Which lot?
60,000.
No, it's right here. It's barren lot. Trees on it.
Vacant.
It was vacant.
No, sir, it had no structures on
Okay, and what is the address on that lot? I would like to take a look at it in my own time.
it. Just 1 second.
So I'm thinking if it's a bare lot, and mine's a bare lot, I would be, why can we just can't make it 60 and 60 if y'all gonna do that? They're both bare lots, they're both the same size. I'm pretty sure it's got some stuff on
I don't
it,
want to be a part of
area
it.
over there that isn't very great anyway, and there's stuff on my side that isn't very great.
Yeah, the,
Cutting down the middle, if you're gonna give me a 60, 65 with him, going and put mine the same price as this other one, 'cause I know I'm not gonna get y'all going lower than that.
yeah, it's more, I think our thinking is revolving around the other sales in that area. And, you know, to be honest, this area is really in a big state of flux right now. There are a lot of sales. I'm looking here also at the sales ratio report for sales in that whole area. We have 36 total sales in that whole area. And I mean, while we haven't pointed to a lot of other properties, the weighted mean average is 0.97, which is pretty darn close to supporting the 80,000. So,
I think we're fair. We understand your comments, but I think we've done as well as we can do with the 65,000.
When did you start paying that?
and we'll see you next year.
Okay, and you're welcome to come back and protest again next year.
All right, I guess it is what it is, I ain't gonna get around it. If you made your decision. Like I said, I think it'd be a little more fair since we went down that road. Going to give me the same equity adjustment, is that $60,000?
Time is up, Mr. Roberts, so I'm Mr. Brooks, sorry, but that is our decision.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and you'll receive the determination package in the mail here shortly.
All right, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Oh, did she give you another number?
No, but I think she said.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in a bathroom now.
I'm gonna take a shower.
That was as loud as I
Flipped around.
Wow.
That was really loud.
Come on in. Excuse me.
Oh, they,
Yeah, thank you for putting that up, Val.
Sure, I don't know how
Might
much
help a
good
little.
it's gonna do.
What
but-
happened here?
It was pretty loud.
Yeah, yeah, the lobby was really getting packed. We do have another phone conference if you approve. So this request for the phone hearing came in today. It is in writing. It's case number 189. It's
25111.
The
what do
request
you need
for-
if we approve?
Well, normally it would be within, by law, it's within 10 days. By our rule, it's by 3.
And it just came in today?
Yeah,
The requested, yes.
Oh, I think I
That's
just,
the regulation at 3, so we're one.
we can do whatever we want, but it's a matter of.
What is this?
It's ready to go. Yeah, he's got everything in. He just didn't realize he needed to request that in advance.
Was he supposed to be here today?
He wasn't planning on being here in person, but we couldn't know that because he hadn't checked it.
Oh.
But wasn't he told 3 days?
No, it actually says
Oh,
10
10
days
days.
in the notice of hearing.
Okay.
Typically, a precedent has been set in the past that there's really nothing we have to do different for them to do a phone conference. So as long as they have everything in, and it's their regular,
Schedule, correct?
and it's a regularly scheduled time. Right.
Since it really doesn't require us to do anything different.
It would be better.
There's one thing that's important.
So, like,
Just remember your mindset and why you're doing what you're doing. And then the next time somebody asks, apply the same logic
Right.
again and again and again, even if you're tired, even if it's the end of the day, you know what I mean? That's all that really matters. We just have to make sure that it's consistent. It's
Well, I
very
think-
consistent.
Yeah, I think you brought up a good point, you know. Are we going down to one day?
But it's already on the docket,
But he was gonna.
and the data is,
No, it was on the docket, but we just didn't know whether or not it was.
Oh, we didn't know if he was gonna be here, because he didn't check.
Correct.
It's a little different in that respect, that he was already on the docket, right?
No, not at all. No, so in the past, saying like last year, if someone requested a phone hearing, even if it was like right before the hearing, the board did approve those phone hearings to take place. It's a matter of them walking in here or a matter of dialing on the phone. It's all the difference there is.
So it's been done in the past.
Yes, when there's an issue is that they don't have all their affidavit in.
But we had all the information.
You've got the affidavit in hand.
I'm
Yeah.
good with it.
And you brought that up.
Yeah, so
Make
let's,
a point that.
I don't care one way or the other. I have no feelings about it at all. It's all the same to me. I just ask that it's consistent. It does matter. That does matter. That part matters.
He does have all the information, other times they have not.
right, exactly.
I think that does make a
And
difference.
I'd like to take that extension
I'll
change it.
3 days
He's got, no, but that's extra too.
with,
So there's that as
with
well.
all
All
of
the
their
evidence.
evidence.
Okay.
So that's gonna be his
Not
evidence
within
also.
3 days,
Okay.
without, and doesn't include all the evidence. So Val,
He does have a thumb drive as well. So you did bring in a thumb drive a few days ago. So.
yeah, that was
got
gonna be my other question, is when did you get evidence within 3 days?
This goes
I
together.
don't know exactly when that came in, and he uploaded his evidence online into the account. We can look at the date he uploaded the
May
evidence.
20th is when this came in.
May 20th, he uploaded his.
Yeah, okay, so I feel comfortable. Yeah. I hate being, kind of schizophrenic on this, but at the same
No,
time.
it's so fine, but I think what Ray said is right, if we remember that why we did this time as opposed to the 3-day limit. They both can be played, but they have to meet the same requirements.
Right, the 3-day was just because there were so many coming in, we said, well, we can knock out a few of having to ask you if it's within that time limit, but anything other than 3, we would go ahead and ask you like I'm doing right now.
Okay.
All right.
And it's,
So there's,
We have all this information.
Yes.
you have what is submitted in the system, but there is also a thumb drive that was submitted. So that will be shown by Scott Arrington when it's time for that.
Do we need to switch cables around and stuff?
We'll figure that out when we get to it.
Ran right there.
Is that 2511?
Yes.
Yeah, 3. One.
I want to check if somebody wants to buy this piece of property from us, over there first. I want to- It hasn't been a really great since ready to 13 or 15.
Hang on, let's wait for Scott.
Oh, no, yeah,
Are you
go
okay?
ahead, yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Do whatever y'all are doing.
Yes, ma'am. I'm fine.
Like a new quarters.
They're pretty snazzy.
Gregory Zach.
No,
He said he goes by Greg. Greg said.
Hello,
Hello, is this Greg?
this is.
Greg, this is the appraisal review board calling for your telephone protest hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, Greg, I have a few, good afternoon. I have a few pieces of administration to go through first.
Okay.
So if you just hang loose, we'll go through this. We are commencing a hearing on case ID 2022-189, account number 25111. Key Allegro, Unit 4, Block 16, Lot 12.
It has not changed.
This hearing is being recorded. So let's verify exactly what's under protest.
Market and equity.
Okay, Q1, Q2, thank you. So we are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest.
Okay.
The comptroller's office provides an electronic survey for you to offer feedback about your experience today that you may access either here at the appraisal district office or online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey ARB. The survey is voluntary, and I don't expect you to have remembered that URL, so it is included in the determination package that you will receive in the mail after this hearing.
Okay.
You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination, and again, that information is in the determination package you will receive. In accordance with tax code section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. And I'm assuming we do have all your evidence. I've heard that you have uploaded a bunch of stuff as well as provided a thumb drive that we're currently getting access to.
Okay.
And I'm looking here at your affidavit of evidence, and it is appropriately signed and notarized. So consequently, just need to make sure that you understand that you are in fact under oath.
Yeah.
Okay, the ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Scott Waggart, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66F.
I, Joanne Ferguson, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66F.
I, Ron McCann, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66F.
I, Peggy Bird, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66F.
I, Ray Presley, do solemnly swear that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Okay, Greg, I need to ask you, do you hold a license or certificate from the Texas Appraisers Licensing and Certification Board?
No, I do not.
Okay, and that's perfectly fine. We just need to ask the question.
Sure.
All right, do you have a copy of the time limits, the hearing procedures page that was included in your material that you got from the district? Hearing procedure times.
Yeah, I do not have it in front of me, but seems like I recall receiving that.
Okay, and that's okay. We'll step you through that as necessary. The point is that there are two ways the hearing can proceed. One is if you go first, or if the district goes first in terms of the presentations. You have to make the choice on who goes first.
Well, okay, let me. I guess I'll let y'all go ahead and go first.
Okay.
The district has 5 minutes to make their presentation.
Okay, so you're not taking inches.
All right, I'm just kind of looking through this thing real quick here. This is in Keel Lake Road. It's on Curlew.
Right, well,
And we have a value of 676,000. One of the things, there could be something that I'm missing here. I've just went through Greg's information that he sent over. I went through it real quick. There's some deck issues, bids from Kinsel and Pruitt. We have a dock on the account that we have a value of $140 on. And then we have the entire back patio as concrete only for $1,800. So our total value from the back door to the water is $2,200. We don't have anything else that's in the backyard. We just have, if you imagine, you walk out the back door, you step on the concrete, you walk across that concrete, you step on a small dock. We have the dock as being 60 square feet from 1974.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? How many square feet?
60?
50, 50?
60.
60, okay.
So our total value on that portion of the account is $2,200. He may have, I'm not trying to kill his argument. I just know that that's part of the argument, and I want to bring that into the conversation. Part of the discussion. Let's not use the word argument yet. We look at this from a sales comparison approach. The comps are, the first two comps are on Curlew. They are roughly the same size. They are also built in the 70s. One sold for $865, one sold for $759. And comps number 3 and 4 are both on Bimini. Again, one's well, in this case, one's a little bit larger, one's a little bit smaller, both built in the 70s. One sold for $973, one sold for $759. The median value from sales comparison is $727, showing us to be $50,000 low. Proving value in Keel Lake Road from a sales approach is not the most difficult thing in the world right now. It's pretty easy. If we look at it from equity and we try to figure out, are there equity issues amongst these value changes? You'll notice that there is. That we sent over a notice of 676, but the median equity value is actually 671. So in light of the appraisal district saying that we're $50,000 low market, in equity, we're actually $5,000 or $6,000 high. So that's a paradox. It has to do with people paying a lot of money for houses. And these comps are on Curlew, Blue Heron, Curlew, and Bimini. They're class 5 and class 4 homes, and they're all about the same square footage, plus or minus just like 100 or 200 square feet, rendering a median value of 671. So that's the appraisal. Well, yeah, that's the appraisal district's opinion, unless there's further information that would say that the dock, whatever value we have on that dock, I can't even remember now, but whatever it was. Yeah, like that would come off, but for now it's 671. That's it.
Okay, Greg, you now have 2 minutes to cross-examine Ray and 5 minutes for your presentation, so 7 minutes.
Okay, so thank you. You said how many square feet of deck? Did you say that there was no deck?
We don't have the deck. If you have a deck in your backyard, Greg, we don't actually have it in the account.
Okay, well, I mean, there is one there. It's that we purchased the home in 2003. And of course, there was a deck when we bought the house in 2003. So, I mean, since that time, of course, we changed the deck out because it was rotten. So we did a new deck. But the deck that we have now, it was compromised by the hurricane. So that's where I'm kind of puzzled as to that you did not show a deck on the house.
It's not that,
And of course, the dock that you said there was 60 square feet. There again, once we bought the house, it was much bigger than that. So
I can answer a question if you're asking it, but I don't want to tread on your time.
sure, no, but I'm just saying, I'm sort of, I guess, questioning what you show based on what was there before we even bought the house in '03.
Yeah, and if we're gonna be wrong about something, it's gonna be something in somebody's backyard.
Yeah,
That's a lot of work. It's something that we try to do, but we have to do it with
Right.
aerial photography and it takes, it's just one of those things.
yeah, sure, I understand.
Yeah, we're often wrong and on that kind of stuff. And it's gonna sound kind of weird, but even with aerial photography, decks they don't stand out. You have to really work hard at it. Whereas like a pool, because of the blue water, I mean, it's really easy to see, you can see it without any effort at all. Or a silver roof on a porch or something like that. As far as accounting for it, even with you having a problem, for us, it would be sort of like showing up to a store wanting a return on something, but your receipt not having it on it. There's no value in it to us. And if there was value in it to us, then we would have sent you a higher notice than 676. And then
I'm sorry, I understand that, but I just assumed that, like I said, it was there in 2003. So
yeah,
I just assumed you already had it. Sorry, I didn't.
no, it's okay. It's not great on our part. You don't look bad, we do.
Well, it is sort of what it is. So,
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm sorry, am I still in my 2 minutes with you or not?
You still have 4 minutes.
Okay. So, as I stated, and I think from the picture of the show, the issue with the deck in the dock right now is they got damaged from the hurricane, and we haven't redone it yet. And I had an estimate right after the hurricane was 40-something thousand. And we just never got around to it. And by the time we wanted to get around to it, was last year on my primary home, we were having major construction there. So we had to live down in Rockport at the time, and we want construction going on in 2 locations at one time. So I said, okay, let's just wait. Well, I'm kind of now ready to, all right, let's start to redo the deck that's out there at Rockport. Well, I reached out to Marcus Kinsel, and I said, hey, give me an estimate. Well, I was shocked at the cost of the estimate for replacing the deck and the dock. And of course, the problem with the deck is that all the supports have been kicked out from underneath the overhang of the roof. So that's the real structural integrity problem. And it would be just a matter of just replacing some boards to accept that the material that we use is no longer available. So they discontinued it. So now we have to redo the whole thing because I can't just go replace what's been messed up. So that, in addition to, I had one of the lifts, if you'll see from the picture there, it got all messed up and it has to get redone. So that's really the crux of the whole issue as to where our damage is. So
You can still have time if you have more information you want to present.
that is really the main issue. I mean, we still have a little bit of paint and sheetrock work inside. I did not present that from the roof damage we had before, but I didn't even see anything of that. It's not anything major, but the main thing that we have is the deck, the dock that's got to be done at some point in time. And the real issue is the structural integrity of it. So.
All right, is that anything else you want to add? Just a minute.
No, I mean, that's it. That was actually the same thing that I had submitted last year to the treasury board. So.
Was action
Thank
taken,
you.
was action taken last year by the review board?
Yes, I mean, they lowered the value of their value, of the county's appraised value for that, and it's still the same situation today. It hasn't been fixed, and it's still there.
Oh, so it's already lower last year, right?
It was lowered last year because of that damage, yes. Not significantly, maybe $20,000 from what was the proposed value. I'm guessing, I could be wrong with that number, but it's somewhere around there.
Okay.
But you would probably have that information more readily than we'll do that.
Yeah, he's not.
All
All
right. Then we'll go ahead and proceed, and Ray, you have,
Do we want to do these pictures or is?
Is that all?
No.
Is that it? Okay.
I could probably.
hold on a second, we're trying to look at some pictures.
Sure, that's fine.
We're all done.
We weren't watching because we were listening. Thanks.
I tried to give enough pictures where the supports were kicked out, so if that's what if you're looking at some of those, see where they get pushed out.
I don't know.
Let's go through all the pictures again. They want you to go through all the pictures again.
Okay, I'm sorry, Ray, you have 4 more minutes, so if you'd like to add additional information.
I mean, there's a certain amount of awkwardness to this because we don't have this stuff in the account. So we're not valuing it. So we're talking about someone's damage. It's sort of like saying, hey, I'm gonna add on to my house. Can we take off value for it? But I haven't done it yet. In our opinion, we don't even have it. We're like, there's nothing for us to do. Unless we take off the dock, it's $140. That's all we have. We don't have anything else. So the conversation is very awkward. I don't know what else to say. Like, if it was there, then all of this would be a problem. And we would take it off more than likely. I mean, this would be a
We
big,
already did that last year.
okay.
Is that correct?
I don't
Can you
know.
look that up and tell us what we did?
Well, it's not, I'll
I don't
say,
know the answer to
it's-
that.
it's not information that's presented today, but the subject property owner indicated that he brought this to the board, the attention of the board last year.
Exactly,
And
and got remedy for
I don't know.
it. He said he did.
Okay, well, that's congruent with the fact that we have $140 on everything that he's presented. So there is no value change here. There's nothing, just like Ray said, there's nothing to present in that regard.
But there is the 671 from the appraisal district.
Right,
and
right,
it has to
right,
do with the
right,
median
right.
value.
Right.
And the removal of the $140. I mean, I'm on board with that kind of stuff. It's not an issue. We just don't have, there's not a pot to pull the other stuff from. We don't have the pot.
Show me.
Yeah, it hasn't happened.
That's correct.
We can't, yeah, we can't.
Okay, are we in our time or?
Yes.
No, we haven't. Greg, you have a minute for closing if you need it.
Well, yeah, I wanted to kind of listen to some of your conversation. Let me ask the question, do you have value for the boat lift?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's, you see the picture, that's been compromised and it's still that way, so.
Okay. We do have value for boat lift. Compromised, what do you mean by compromised? You mean,
Well, did you see the picture that
Yeah.
the electrical is in the water?
but it looks like every single boat lift I've ever seen in the county, right? Does it work or not work?
No,
Okay. Is it gonna work one day?
well, I would like for it to.
Okay, I hear you. All right,
Let me, okay.
You finished your presentation, you're taking 1 minute.
yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I really don't.
Protester, Greg, you have, I believe, taken your minute, unless you have anything else you want to add.
No, I appreciate it.
Okay, the ARB has 5 minutes to deliberate.
Okay.
So what's the effect of the fact there was a ARB ruling last year?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make
Yeah,
sure.
no effect at all.
Okay.
I think the minimum we need to do is reduce from 576 to 570 or 580, which was the equity value of the property.
The first number is a 6, but.
Yeah.
So 671,
671.
I'm sorry, did I say 5?
Yes.
That's okay. 671, 584 is what the equity value show this property was worth.
So now, and I might consider going down to 671, even to take off $140 to account. Agree with that.
Yes.
$140. No, we're gonna just reduce the ticket off as well.
Yeah.
So round it up to 671.
Yeah.
They were taking off the.
We could get more precise, but I could just.
671.
And the noise here.
All right, do we all agree on that?
Yes.
All right, Greg, I'm gonna make a motion on the property and account or ID number 2022-29, account number 25111. In relation to appraised market value, appraisal ratio exceeding the median level of appraisal. The appraisal review board will reduce the property value based on the equity that's presented to us by the district to 671, also taking into consideration the amount just discussed regarding the vote.
Kathy, can you clarify the value? Because 671 is the value. you said.
671.
Okay,
671,000.
okay, thank you.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, so that motion carries.
All right, Greg, did you understand what we did?
Yeah, you lowered it to 671, and I just sort of, I don't know, I'm disappointed and shocked that it goes up and back, but I still have damage to it. And if you don't have any of the doctor information there, I mean, I don't know what to say. Was there in 2003 when we bought the house? So, I get what you said in your statement about, hey, you get that information, whatever.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right. So that concludes the 1:30 docket. We do have a someone that has phoned in for the 3 o'clock docket. It is the same situation as before. They would like to request a phone hearing. As of today, it is account 28755. And I understand if you want to take a break too, but I thought maybe we would just get this part over with. This is the 3 o'clock docket. It's case number 164. It's on the very last page.
146.
164. Last page.
Then you should make.
Page 10, the first one was the only one on page 10.
It's not fair, there's 2 cases, 146 and 164.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Some of us.
This is 164, is that correct?
164, the last page. Mhm.
Okay, so let's understand, they just requested the phone hearing today.
Yes, you can look in your tablet on the 3 o'clock docket. I put in the in writing email.
And we had all of the evidence
We-
submitted.
We have it all.
Okay. And when did it get submitted?
This afternoon. They called because they were having, or this morning, they called because they were having troubles with uploading directly to the account. But they had the affidavit, they were trying to upload it.
So this is the same situation as that.
Yeah.
Therefore, we need to go ahead and meet.
Yes.
All right, so I don't know if y'all want to take a break or
Let's
if you're
take
ready
a
to
few minute
go
break.
into it. Okay.
And they're okay with us calling before 3?
I don't know, but we can certainly, if you want me to, I can ask, I
No,
can
let's
call
take
them
a
right
break
now.
And then we'll try and hook them up. And
I'll call them and let them know it might be like if 10 till 3, that's when they call if they want to get ready.
oh, it is already 2:38.
Yeah.
I don't care. We can do this now. Okay. Let's see if he's available. Let's do it now.
Okay. So you need his phone number. I'll be right back.
Yes, we have no.
I agree with you. We need a shower head.
Scott, is this the fund drive that Great Block?
The last protest, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It's for your, whatever you all do with them. It's your copy.
I kind of feel like a kid in a theater play, like when you do it at home and you put up all the sheets. Okay. Exit stage left. That's the number.
Alan?
Alan?
Yeah. Yeah, anytime if you want to dial them in.
Alan, this is the appraisal review board calling for your telephone protest.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Alan, we are commencing a hearing. I have some administration to go through first. So we are commencing a hearing on case ID 2022-164. Account number 28755. This is Neptune Harbor Lot 36. And we'll verify the items in protest.
Both market and.
Okay. All right, I have, let's see, this hearing is being recorded.
Okay.
We are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest today. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest.
Okay.
The comptroller does provide an electronic survey for you to offer feedback about your experience today. And that may be accessed either here at the appraisal district's office or online at surveymonkey.com/r/survey-ARB. And that survey is voluntary. It is helpful if you do it. And that information I just went through is also included in the determination package you will receive in the mail after this hearing concludes. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you with our determination. In accordance with tax code section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. So this is important. We assume that all of your evidence that you're going to be referencing today has been provided.
Yes, you should have documentation, should be five pages.
Okay. And we have a few more than that,
Okay.
13 pages of stuff.
5 documents that I sent today, yeah.
Okay. There may be some headers and stuff.
If
Right,
there
I-
may be multiple
I-
pages. in-
I put it all in one
There's
PDF
multiple pages and
and
stuff.
put a title
Okay.
between each of his documents.
All right, excellent.
Okay.
The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing affidavits to that effect. I, Scott Wagger, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.66F.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66.
I, Joanne Ferguson, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66F.
I, Ron McCann, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66F.
I, Katie Bird, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66F.
And all testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath, and I'm assuming that the protester is under oath since we have received a valid signed and notarized affidavit. So you understand that you're under oath. Okay, great.
I, Ray Presley, do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal of the board of Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
Okay, I need to ask you, Alan, if you have, if you hold a license or certificate from the Texas Appraisers Licensing and Certification Board.
No, sir, I do not.
Okay, that's fine. We just need to ask that of everyone. Okay, do you have a copy of the hearing procedures times? That was a page that was included.
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay, great. If you have that, what you'll see on that page is there's 2 columns. One is whether if you as the protester goes first in presenting evidence or whether the district goes first. And you have to choose which you would like to have.
I can go first, that's fine. I've never been through anything like this, so I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants.
That's fine, no problem.
Alan, if you want to go first, which is fine, we have right now 5 minutes for your presentation, and you'll have some additional minutes as we proceed.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So as the documentation that I emailed back to you guys, and thank y'all for doing this remotely. I had to leave and go and take care of some stuff in my parents' house, but that's why I couldn't be there in person. But the document that we provided, you know, like the last 15 years, and I know that the persons that I may have bought the home from, you know, may have been above the age of 65, and that may be some of the calculations that's in there. But it stated on there that I purchased the home for $427,000. The purchase price was only $412,000, which I put in there. I also bought the home and supplied documentation that it was bought fully furnished as is. And we provided a MLS link where you can actually see all the furniture in there to back up the statement that I said that it was, whenever we signed the documentation, that the house was fully furnished. With that being said, I'll go to the next thing. So in the second document that I sent you, it says this is a cash offer, and it's fully furnished and, you know, bought as is. And then we just kind of put together a little spreadsheet, just kind of showing, you know, what, you know, that refrigerator costs, what the dishwasher costs, what, you know, just kind of to back up some of the documentation. We didn't do every single item, of course, in the house, you know, every rug, every picture. But just to show that, you know, we do have documentation that it was bought fully furnished as is. So that did that did play into to the purchase price, which was, again, 412, not the 427, which was stated in the documentation. And we provided that as well. The contract page, we just supplied that one page showing the purchase price there. So with that being said, that's you know, this is all the documentation that I wanted to provide to get y'all's feedback on, you know, where this came from. And also, if you will look at the listing, you know, or the photos that the county provided to me, you know, it has a bunch of big, beautiful palm trees that the freeze killed. So those pictures were taken, you know, beforehand on some of them. So there's a lot of missing palm trees now and we all know how expensive palm trees are, but I just didn't think that it was justified to go, you know, at almost 60% whenever I just bought it in December 15th.
Okay, and is that all you'd like to say? Would you like to add anything else before I turn it over to the district?
No, I think I'd like to hear from them now, please.
Right, you have 5 minutes and
Alan, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can, thank you.
412, is that gonna be a problem?
Well, I bought it 412 fully furnished with, you know,
Okay, that answers my question.
furniture.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. I just was trying to get out of this thing as quick as possible.
I
But,
understand.
we can go through it, man. We can go through it.
I mean, like I said, I've never been through anything like this before, so.
It's not gonna
You
have
know,
that much
like I
time.
said,
I just like it when it's nice and clean. So we're gonna go through this. If we go to the first comp in the sales grid, we'll notice that it's the subject comp and that the appraisal district has a sale value of 426,550. And we now know that that's wrong and the number is 412. So that's the reason I said, can we go 412? The next comp is also in Neptune Harbor. It's on Magnolia. Sold in July of 21 for 526. And let's keep on going here. There's another comp, Neptune Harbor.
Those are, from what I understand, and I don't know if I can talk.
Hey, Alan.
Alan, let him finish his presentation first, and then you can go ahead and ask your questions. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
You'll have time to ask questions.
Okay, comp number 3 is in Neptune Harbor, sells in October 2021 for 446. All of that comes out to 457, with the comp number 3 being the median value, 457 to 479. We have 427, 860. Equity grid, these are not sales, this is just us checking our numbers. So we're going to stay in Neptune Harbor. First one's on Magnolia, it's a 5SS, slightly larger. The next one is a 4FB, also larger. And they comp out, one comes out to 454, the other one comes out to 449. Let's see, is this the last one? Comp number 3, Neptune Harbor, 5FB, 5FB. This one's a little bit smaller, comes out to 421, given a median equity value of 449. So in one grid, we have a median value of 449. In the other grid, we have a value of 457. And before I turn this thing over, just want to, which property, my thing just went kaput. What are we on here? 755. Let me get back to it. Taxpayer evidence, if we could look at that real quick and scroll to the bottom and look at the personal inventory furnishings. Just a couple of things, reasons why I don't want to spend time on this. There's some of the stuff, you see the bottom, there's $6,000 for landscaping, plants and herbs. There's some dollars in here for a dishwasher. There's dollars in here for, I think, a refrigerator, washer dryer, all kinds of different things. And there's no depreciation schedule to this. There's no age. There's no way for us to know if one of these things could be brand new, something else may not be. I have no idea. I don't know where the data came from. So my preference is that lots and lots of things sell with furniture in them. And this is one of those things, and it's sold for $412 as is. And so that's why I tried to cut to the chase. That's it.
Okay, Alan, you have 4 minutes to ask questions of Ray or bring up any additional information.
Okay, I just think if you're looking at some of these other homes that they were talked to, yes, they're much newer in stature as well. A lot of those were done, after Harvey, with some pretty significant upgrades, probably to a house that was built in '67. Like I said, with it being said, yeah, we just put together a spreadsheet just trying to show what some of those things were. Like I said, the MLS posting, you can see pictures of everything, the range, the ice box, all that stuff was within a couple of years. I was thinking more on the lines of meeting somewhere around the 362, 365 mark, I think would be fair to both of us. I do know that, things are selling and all that, and I'm not trying to get full value for those items that were left at the house. I'm just asking for a fair, more of a fair assessment. If you look at some of these other homes, that it is being compared to not fully furnished, or we don't know. And then, you're looking at homes that were built in, 2005, 2010, things like that versus, a home that was built in '67. Some of these homes have garages. My home does not have a garage under it, which I think has considerable value, which I understand some of these things have been taking off, with the values, but like I said, I just think that they're much newer homes. So a 60% increase is a lot, especially just buying a home down there. So it was just, like I said, trying to find the happy medium for both of them. And, about 362, 365 would be a fair number. So that's all I really have.
You indicate everything you want to say at this point?
Yes, I have.
Okay, Ray, you have a couple of minutes for additional comments.
The happy medium that you're asking for is, it's not even, that's not what that is. That's, your total number on your spreadsheet is 48,700, and 427,000 minus, what'd you say, 362? That's, you're asking for $62,000. You're asking for more off than you're even saying in your deal. I'm not defending 412, I'm defending 427. I think that your house is.
412 was the purchase price.
Yeah.
427.
That's fine. I offered 412 already. I was trying to cut to the chase. I'm at 427. Let me finish talking. Let me finish talking and then you're gonna have your chance. Our grids show that you made a good purchase. That's what they show. That you bought on the low end, not the high end. So the appraisal district's opinion is that it's 427 and that we can support that data. And that stuff sells down here with, hold on, Mike, I can't do both. That stuff sells down here with furnishings in it all the time. Every condo in this county sells with furnishings in it, every single one. And it's just how it is. I mean, I don't know what to say. But the happy median is not really what, I mean, that's you're asking for more. So we're just like, we are going to disagree on this, and the board can make their decision.
Okay, Alan, you have 1 minute, sir, and then we're going to go to arbitration with the ARB.
Yeah, the 412 minus $50,000 in furnishing is what I'm kind of getting at, which is around 360, would be 360 something. So, I mean, that's kind of, I mean, I don't think a 60% increase is a fair assessment on the behalf of the county as well. I mean, you know, like I said, you're looking at much newer homes that it's surrounded by, and bigger square footages and things that, you know, I don't think that would be a comp for a fair assessment. And would love to hear the ARB board, you know, make a decision on it, and we'll just have to live with it.
Okay, sir, thank you. Your time is up, and the ARB has 5 minutes to deliberate.
I have a question for you, sir. Are you using those furnishings that are in that house?
Yes, ma'am, they are being.
Okay.
Just as a point of specification, it may not be clear when you're looking at the sales comps and the equity comps, that there is a process that's gone through where value is added or subtracted in doing a comparison between your property and the comp. So that at the end of the day, we're comparing apples and apples, okay? So for example, if there's a much older property, then there's value that might get added, okay? Same thing with entities like square footage and docks or no docks, you know, that type of thing, okay? Just want to make sure that that's clear in terms of the grids that you're looking at in the data that was provided to you.
Okay. My perspective, I think 412 is probably appropriate. Most of the things, or a good portion of the things that is listed on the furnishings are things that come with the house on an everyday basis. Refrigerators, washing machines, dryers, blah, blah. I think 412 is probably pretty fair, and below market value, I will add, but I'm fine with that. I don't know if it's just
That's where my, I agree.
Okay. Okay.
all right, Alan, I'm going to make a motion on your property, which is case ID 2022-164, account 28755. The rest is incorrect appraised market value and appraisal ratio exceeding the level of appraisal. That based on the information you provided to us regarding the sales price or what you paid for the property, the ARB will reduce the noted value from 427,860 to 412 even.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Okay, sir, so you understand what we just did?
Yes, are y'all homeowners in the area as well?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Did y'all property values go up?
We're not going to discuss our personal issues. It's all online, sir. You can look it up yourself.
Okay. And well, I can call back to the county office and talk to them about the homestead exemption.
I see you noted something about your homestead exemptions, exemption, and yes, you need to talk to the district office about your exemption.
Okay.
Can
Hold on 1 second, sir.
who's the person? What's his name?
Alan.
Last name Alan, Mr.
He goes by Alan. Shul.
Hey, Mr. Schul, my name is Mike Soto. I'm the chief here, and I'm looking into your account right now. Did you recently turn in a homestead application, sir?
I mailed one back in March, And then they said that they never received it, and we resubmitted it to them via email, probably a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, let me look in your account right now while I have you on the phone. I see that we just received one, and it was scanned into the system. Looks like 5, so it would have been May. It was scanned into the system on May 12th. So that's one in the pile. There's a stack of, you're not the only one that turns them in this time of year. And so that would have been one that's in a stack that I'm going to consider. And I just go through those periodically. So, but I can assure you that it's in our possession right now. I'm required by law to give an action to you, even if like whatever you know, has been decided by today in regard to market and equity is a part and parcel from my decision, which means that, so I'm going to make a decision about your homestead, and that's appealable as well, even if we disagree. But you know, I haven't even looked at it, but I can affirm that it's in our possession, and I will consider it. Okay, sir?
Okay, that's fair enough. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
Okay.
All right, we do have an in-person hearing for 3 o'clock. And I'm not quite ready with the evidence yet, so if you want to take a
So now we
short break.
Yes.
It's going to be, it's case 33, account 74361. It's at the bottom of page 5.
Okay.
Account 33.
Yes.
Account number is 24808.
Thank you.
All right, break time. Is there any in the carafe? There's 2 carafes, one's coffee and one's water, I think. I don't know.
It is.
That might just say you're true. You don't want to go out, so just so you know, you don't want to go out this way.
That way.
This way will tear the wall down.
Oh,
What was I doing? I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, you're pretty right.
You okay?
Yeah, we're right.
Good.
Well, it probably updated some number I had. Probably. Yeah, it probably. Updated, not in the account.
Okay.
Yeah. I have changed it. Since I'm working, I'm not necessarily something. Yeah. I'm using it.
Called you back.
Yeah.
Putting it in the information in the file in a permanent manner and we.
The more permanent limits, when you come to
She's supposed to do
there's.
It's just the information.
Oh, okay.
You don't realize how much water is around here until you start looking at all these houses.
Yes.
Water.
That's true.
It's fine that they're made, but it's not like really a place. So they will over the $50,000. That's very temporary. It's never been appropriate to that. So, but we have to allow it because they sort of overrule.
So there was one person that's our cases.
Temporary, living.
I think they're locked.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm talking about saying insurance, raising it. I feel like because I'm really involved.
Yeah, that's a holiday beach.
That's always one thing. Stay like this until we have information. How we have.
That's probably.
I can say that. But there's no permanency. Like, there's no law saying. It would be very wrong.
Right. And that was in the news.
No.
It's down Park Road,
That's
down
not
Park
part
Road 13, north of the
Has to be very-
Causeway. In Lamar.
All right, that's.
Even if
Goes down towards the state court.
It could even be challenged.
Very nice canal front.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drive out there sometimes at the deer.
They did.
Right.
We drive out here. What's that?
Right.
Yeah. I know, my son lives out there.
I know, that's why.
Every time we go there, we make that curve on Henderson. And so we make that curve, we go to those two houses. That was their little
You don't protest.
area. And sometimes they'll come running across. They don't. And they just lay in my front yard.
This year, because we haven't had much rain.
If you want to buy
Plants going there every night.
They're eating.
but if you want to go to the.
My son has put cages over his plants.
Which one?
And they figure out everything goes.
Oh.
It's,
It's not getting better.
on the bottom of the 5.
We can't.
24808.
Even just pitch. Because.
Yeah, that's here.
4 years ago, we, and now. Yes, it is.
Person showed up.
Not yet. This is our only show up as of now that I'm aware of. Oh, you have to do that.
Say like somebody, if somebody questions what I'm doing, look at this stuff, I look at doing before, and I can put all that stuff.
Because it's important to be there, even in the field, not really that information, you do that with formal things.
Are y'all okay temperature wise?
I am.
Andy, when you come back. Sure.
Is there any left that?
Need a little salt. I mean,
That's
sugar.
So then you're sure.
All right.
Things that. really personal.
Thank you.
Is there new ones in there?
Yes. Want some, Jeff?
Don't try to open them.
Yeah, those recent, you need Ron's knife.
Well, if you look at them, they have a little tear right here on the side.
It doesn't work. I don't know.
Stronger.
Darn, I opened them
I
almost
tried
after
that, I tried that already.
My wife. She destroys, I mean, she destroys bags. And, you know, cans. Yeah, right.
I was gonna warn you not to try to go out this
Yeah, we already
doorway.
figured that out. I told them the wall would fall down. Did it work?
No. I have to go home after that.
They are supposed to come in next week and put in the doorways.
Well, we're gonna ask, I don't know if you know, is the door gonna open out?
We're in, I
Yeah.
believe it's going to open in, we were kind of talking about clearance, but I don't know if that's, I mean, I guess it comes that way to be determined. That, what I was gonna say is, I think they'll be here during business hours. So there may be, you know, I don't know how it'll all coordinate.
Ron was saying that there may be a code.
I checked, no, it's just that outside door has to open out.
Got it, got it.
But I tell you what, it's really hard.
Yes, so that should take care of the problem when the glass is in.
Oh, well, for sure.
Yeah.
Plus, today's really the last
And then we
day.
still have.
Hopefully tomorrow things will start winding down.
Today's
Today's
the
the
deadline. That's for the majority of cases. So yeah, there will be a doorway and then there's gonna be a window. So it'll be a single door.
Oh, that would be nice.
So that's obscure glass where you can't see in.
It's not, I asked if we could get frosted glass. They said, oh, well, just do like you did on that bank window. I had gone to Walmart. I was like, yeah, that wasn't that easy, but okay. So I'm thinking I'll put like a little frost thing on it, so it's not just clear.
You can, there are spray cans you can buy.
This is a thing where you just wet it, cut it to the shape and wet it and put it on, and then it's removable as well. Yeah, it's pretty neat stuff.
We'll talk about crafts later.
All right, y'all ready?
I drank a cup of coffee and I don't like coffee. So like I'm ready. I'm ready to fight.
I'll go get Mr. Pringles.
Wow. I was out there trying to get in a fight with somebody in the parking lot.
You drink coffee? My goodness.
I'm tired. It's the end of the year for school. and all
I've
that
never
stuff.
seen you drink coffee in all the time I've been here. Man.
Hello.
Aye.
And you can have
You
a
may
seat
sit
right
there,
here.
yeah.
Well, this is why I kept doing this stuff. My volume's up here.
This is Claude Pringle. And case number 33, count 24808.
So we are commencing a hearing on case ID 2022-33, account number 24808. Key Labor Unit 2, Block 5, Lot 31. This hearing is being recorded. Verify. We have on the project. Okay, thank you. So we are the appraisal review board that will be hearing your protest. We do not work for the appraisal district. We are appointed to perform an independent review of your protest. At the end of the hearing, you may complete a survey regarding your experience. The survey may be completed using the survey form. You can use one of these if you'd like, and either hand it in on your way out, which is excellent if you do that, or you can email it to ptad.communications@cpa.texas.gov. Or if you want to take an online survey, you can go to surveymonkey.com/r/survey ARB. And the survey is voluntary. And that information is also included in the determination package you receive through the mail, so you don't have to memorize the stuff I just said. You also have the right to appeal our decision. Appeal information will be provided to you in that determination package that you'll receive through the mail after. So in accordance with tax code section 41.45H, all written material that has not been provided must be provided at this time. It's important we have all of your evidence that you're going to be referencing. Great. The ARB members who are considering the protest have not communicated with anyone about the protest and are signing an affidavit to that effect. I, Scott Wagner, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code section 41.6.
I, Kathy Hoffman, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66.
I, Joanne Ferguson, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66 F.
I, Ron McCann, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66 F.
I, Peggy Bird, do solemnly swear that I have not communicated with another person in violation of tax code 41.66.
So all testimony from all witnesses must be given under oath, so we'll ask you to swear in at this time.
Go ahead and read that sentence aloud and insert your name.
Okay, I do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true and correct.
And state your name.
Claude Stevens. Wayne.
I, Lynn Presley, do solemnly swear from the testimony I shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Appraisal District is true.
Mr. Pringle, I have to ask you if you hold a license or certificate from the Texas Appraisers Licensing and Certification Board.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. You just have to ask everybody.
That's okay.
Okay. Under this pile here is a chart which has the hearing procedure times. And this is how we're going to be running the hearing. You can see here that either you can present first or the district can present first. And you have an honor of making that choice. You have to make the decision.
Okay, I'll be happy to say what I found, so.
That's fine. Okay, so you'll be going first.
Okay, and you have 5 minutes for your presentation right now, and then additional minutes later on.
Okay, well, appreciate you guys' time and the job you're doing here. I had a couple of points I wanted to make and start with maybe the easy aspect. And that would be the square footage of the house.
Sorry, I
Didn't
can't.
have, we wouldn't have room to put the whole plan, so I just made a snapshot so you can see the actual square footage. I talked to my builder, Mr. Thomas McDaniel. He swore it was the right, he built to this number. And I brought the plans just to show that this excerpt did come out of these plans. So I'll be happy to show you that. And that would, if you take this on a square footage basis and reduce it, do the ratio, do the arithmetic, it'll bring it down to like $33. And the next area, I went in, I looked at my neighbors, I looked at the evidence file that you guys provided, and tried to, it's pretty overwhelming, a lot of data there, right? A lot of different comps and those kind of things. So I tried to do my best. And I went and I did a couple of different perspectives. One, I looked at all of my neighborhood. I have a little chart in there that shows where my house is located on Flamingo. It's kind of close towards the end of Flamingo, end of the canal. And I've got 2 or 3 houses on one side and 4 or 5 on the other side. I got houses across the street and then across the canal. Flamingo is next to Maximum. Okay, thank you. Anyway, so I tried to look at houses there in here. I just did an average of what the appraisals are, just generically. And I was about 70% over my neighbors, about 20 some odd houses across the street, on my street, and on the other side of the canal. So it's kind of standing out as a big number. beyond what my neighbors are. And with real estate, the location thing, I think means something here. So, and then, so when I looked at that, I looked at the average square footage. The average square footage is 73% higher, or the value overall 73% higher than these averages, and I have those numbers in there for you. And I have a map in here if you want to see this map on the evidence slide.
I'm having trouble opening in the evidence impacts. That's why you don't see it up there.
We have
Okay.
it.
Okay, if you go to this guy, you'll see, this is my rendition of the canals. And you can see Flamingo and see Max Allen, you see my house there and all the house values around it. So that's one thing I thought would be kind of interesting. I did the arithmetic on it to show you that it's averages of one street, the other street, and the neighbors, so you can see that. And then I tested it a bit. I went all around the neighborhood and went using data from the appraisal district, 22 values, I compared to the 2021, and the conclusions weren't much different, that the price per square foot is much higher than I think would be a fair number. And then I went to your data. I took 3 of the comps that you provided, and it's really difficult because on that island there, so many houses have been redone, right? Harvey hit, and so you guys know that, I'm sure better than I know that. So, but this house is 12 years old. It was built in 2010, and it has never been remodeled or anything. I'll show you some damages inside the house. Floor is warped. It's got cupping, they called it. So it's collecting dust and allergy issues. And so I have to have the whole floor replaced in the top floor. So,
Okay.
but anyway, so
Sir.
there's some comps in the.
Sir, I hate to interrupt, but I think we've got some of your evidence up here. So if you just want to tell me,
Okay.
say, you can tell me to go to the next one, or
The
Here,
one that
Mike, go
says-
in here, because those are kind of torn.
I've been, okay, that's the first one I talked about. That's the summary of what I think the overall recommended for your consideration would be. Go to the next one.
okay, hang on, I'm sorry.
Okay, so that's
There we
page
go.
one.
No worries.
Go to this one.
There's a square footage. You can see that it's 3264, and on the appraisal, it's 34 something. Okay. Then Thomas will, if you need any kind of testimony from Thomas, he'll swear to that. Okay, and then this is the one where I just showed you where I'm in the middle here, and those are all my neighbors. You know, one street, I'm 183% over, the other street, I'm 64% higher. It's an average of 73 something for the neighbors. Okay, and then just keep going down a little bit. So these are all the neighborhood values I looked at in trying to, because the houses are built 70s and 80s. It's really hard to assess, but most of these that I've seen and looked at online have been redone inside. And they're in much better shape than my house, which has never been redone. So let's just continue on here. I know I have limited time. And these are 3. Okay. Okay, thank you. So these are 3 houses I looked at, Luau, 2 on Bimini, and they have recently sold. And if you look online at Horror, you'll see these houses are immaculate inside. They're nice and bright and clean and everything. You can see the square footage average for the improvements is 137. And I'm up at 170, 180 something. So I think even by the comps that I pulled out of there, the assessment's a little bit high. Okay. All right, and this is where, on this one, that's just the square footage correction. The second one is the wood floor. I've got a 1,1200 square feet that's got to be repaired, replaced. And you just can't keep it that way. So I asked the builder what would it cost per square foot. He said, use $60 because the whole floor's got to be ripped out and then a new floor put in. All the baseboard and all the painting, and the stairwell's the same color, the landing on the stairwell is the same color, the handrails across it. So it's pretty extensive work. All right. The next there, so I have some pictures of the floor. You see the cupping in the floor. That's one room. Then there's another room. So I don't know what it's from. It just happened. I think moisture's getting from the bottom up into the house. So I can't use wood floor product anywhere at the top of the house. So it's all got to be replaced. So the other, I was trying to understand the depreciation.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that has to be able to regurgitate everything that you're saying.
Yes, sir.
How much more time does he get? to
I
talk?
gave him 2 minutes, so he has 7 minutes.
You're on point, okay, but I need you to stop, let me have a second to talk, because there's no way I can handle all this. If you
Okay.
keep going.
And you'll have some more time.
You'll have more time.
All right,
What do you do for a living?
I'm retired.
What did you do for a living?
I worked for Kellogg Brown and Root.
Oh.
We build
Yeah.
refineries and LNG plants and
All right, so square footage is not. I don't have a problem with the square footage.
okay,
You've got documentation, I get it.
yeah.
I'm not worried about that. Something that I just want to talk about for a second with all these numbers is when we're talking about price per square foot. You're taking the total value and dividing the livable area, or you're taking the total value less the land and dividing?
Less than that. I took the land out. The land was uniform across.
Fair enough. I just want to make sure that,
Yes, sir.
so just know that that's not how we're going to do things. That's not, that's okay. We understand it. It's just not how we're going to.
Okay.
And because you've done this work, you understand that class, size, and depreciation are gonna make that price per square foot number bounce all over.
Absolutely.
Okay, on one of your comps, which I can appreciate you doing this work, one of your comps was 11 Bimini. And you wrote down some numbers, and then you put on here remodel question mark 2014. Because you're wondering, did we increase the age because of a remodel?
I didn't know, to be honest with
I
you.
love how you're doing this.
Yeah.
No, you're okay.
Yeah.
But I just want you to know, the answer is yes. And how much are we valuing you per square foot at your house? You said it several times.
The current is 184.8.
Okay. So on that house, we're valuing them with your numbers. These are using your numbers. You came up with 176. Right? Am I reading this correctly?
I just took the square footage.
And that's simply because that house, you have a 2010 bill, that's a 2014 bill. There's some square footage difference, but the reason those two numbers using your math are so close together is because it's a good comp. The other stuff has class, depreciation, square footage issues that when we do what we're doing here, we arrive at data that doesn't really represent value. It's just data, meaning like this house is this much square foot, this house is this much square foot. How big's the garage? How big are the porches? What kind of deck? What kind of dock? Does it have boat lift? Does it have square footage issues? All of those things do all kinds of stuff to those numbers. Out of everything that you said, it's not going to be difficult for me to prove value in key labor. Okay. I'm going to go into that. It's not, it doesn't take a lot of work for us to prove that your house is worth 929 in a sales grid. We're going to prove that your house is worth 947, and we're going to use 4 comps to do it: Bimini, Pelican, and Curlew. Every one of our comps, with the exception of one, is smaller than your house, and still proving 947. In equity, we're going to prove 932 because equity doesn't have the crazy world of the sale prices mixed in. It's just data. We're going to comp class 6 homes. They're all going to be very close to the same size of your house, and we're going to prove 932. It's my opinion that the two things that are at play here are: 1, do we have the square footage wrong? And 2, what's going on with this floor thing? Is this like the kind of thing that says my house needs to be repainted, which everybody says doesn't have anything to do with value? Or is this the kind of thing that has to be repaired before you guys sell your house? Those are 2 different things. Those are 2 drastically different things. One of them is something you would probably do, and one of them is something you may never do. And so the square footage adjustment, I would say, is easy. And the other one, just to let you know, we would never go dollar for dollar. Like, we're not going to take dollars off. And in like manner, we're not gonna add dollars on. So we're not gonna say, he spent $100,000, take that off, and then later on say, he fixed it, add $200,000, get the $100,000 back, and now there's $100,000 over here. I always just do about 50%. That's kind of where I go, and there's no science behind that.
Yeah, I get
It's
it.
just where I go.
Yeah, okay.
We gotta go somewhere.
Hey, I've negotiated lots, so I know what you.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. That's a good word, I think. If you're allowed to use it, then I'll. So that's where I'm at on this whole enchilada. And I appreciate your data. I appreciate the way you're looking at things. I think you're being reasonable. Nothing, we don't want to have more square footage on the account if that's.
I wish it was bigger, it'd be more valuable.
Well, we care about accuracy on these things. I don't know how far we're off.
It's not much, it's a couple hundred square feet.
Yeah, well, a couple hundred square feet is much.
Okay,
If it was 50, I would tell you,
yeah, okay,
whatever.
yeah,
But yeah, a couple hundred square feet, that's an issue. And we would put those in at the appropriate spots
okay,
because they're gonna derive a different value as to the square footage value per floor.
I see.
You know what I mean? The main area is gonna hold one value, and then the other areas.
I think I gave you both.
You did. We have it.
Okay,
It's in your data.
okay.
I don't see any reason to argue with that. So we can do that. It's not a problem. And we can even talk a little bit about this force, and I'm done.
Okay. We got minutes mixed up here. You have 4 minutes. If you want to go ahead and ask some questions.
Well, no, I did have a question about depreciation.
Yes,
I looked-
that's in there, yeah.
Yeah, because I think you have it 5% depreciated, right?
I'll check, but
Yeah, check it.
Go ahead.
I'm right, I think that was 5%. The house has the last 240 years. To ever get back the deal on a linear scale or depreciate to zero? And I don't know of any 240-year-old properties around here, so I have
an out.
Well, let me, I looked at this, let me just say, all right, so
Okay.
I looked at the IRS code and they depreciate them about 3.6% a year.
Okay.
All right, and so that'd be a 40% depreciation of a 12-year-old house, which is too much, right? So I know that's crazy. But then I'm thinking 5% probably isn't enough because there's a lot of stuff that if you go to sell it, you're gonna have to fix up after 12 years and more than 5%, I guess. And so I did a 80-year-old life of a house. And that would be 15% depreciation, not 5.
Okay.
And that would get close to the value of that floor.
Okay.
So I'm thinking, okay, that's 60. So just another way of looking at the same problem, but coming at it from a couple of different ways. You don't have to say anything about that. I just say, I was curious at how the 5% came up versus a different life of an asset.
Okay. You don't want me to.
I'd love for you to.
Okay, then I
opine on it.
can. There's a couple things at play. One is we have an out. We have 2 outs. One is we use Marshall and Swift's depreciation. The second one is our depreciation is like magic. It's in our software and I don't have to do it. But we have done one thing to it. And we do it on the basis of market. Is we don't allow the main area and the contributory items to start to depreciate for like 4 to 5 years. Because it's our opinion that if somebody walks up to a house and says, I want to buy that house, and it's a 2020,
Okay.
and then the other house next door is a 2019,
Yeah.
we don't think they care.
Yeah.
But we do think they care if it's 2020 and that's 2015.
Yeah, lines just start going out and.
There's little things, you know, that whoever in the family is responsible for the maintenance, their wheels are starting to turn.
Okay.
What am I gonna have to do?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's our.
Like I had to replace both air conditioning units, 10 years is pretty much all you get. So-
That's right. You don't get, right, no, you're right. So, yeah.
So, anyway, I was just curious at how, if I could argue for more than 5% or not, if there's a way to do that. You're saying you put it in the program, it comes out what it is.
It's magic,
Right,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
I did think it was interesting that it's about the same value as the floor depreciation.
Well, I think it's interesting that you figured it out.
Okay,
Okay, here's where we're at.
Yeah.
He pretty much indicated what you have to say.
Yes, ma'am.
I've talked to that.
Are you done?
I'm done.
All right, you want to make some closing? we want to take it.
Well, I just think, I'm gonna be fair, so I just feel like that, and I appreciate the square footage consideration. If we split the difference of the floor, maybe, okay. I mean, I'm not gonna make a big deal of it, so I'll leave it in your hands to make a good decision.
All right then.
I like your pen, the same pen I have. That's good.
This is getting too weird.
Yeah.
Okay, then, right now, the treasury will have 5 minutes to discuss. I would like to hear what the value would be in taking the square, changing the square footage.
It's there for you to look at.
That's value.
The living area that was indicated by the property owner is 3264. You can see that that's the new number, that's the new value.
We want to check your arithmetic on that one a little bit. Did you take the square footage price?
Again, sir, what happens, again, I should not talk.
It's
Ray, go.
happening at the level, it's a different per square foot price, because we're putting it in at 2 different floors. So one floor has a higher per square foot plan.
Oh, I see what you're saying, okay.
So that's the difference.
It's not a flat number, it's.
It's not,
Right. Yeah. I guess the top is more expensive or the bottom?
The main is the more expensive. The main can be the second, it's whichever one's the most.
Okay, see, but you have main designated somewhere.
We do. Yeah, right there, that's the main. And then there's gonna be either a bottom or an above,
Okay.
at a lesser per square foot.
Economy of size, scale, the table will shift.
Yeah, the table, that's also true, yeah. The more square footage something is, the lower that per square foot price, and then vice versa, if it shrinks up, it also comes up.
Okay, I think you got me about 4,000 on that one, but okay.
And, yeah,
I think had indicated 77,000.
66 is what? That's
66,000. That was the only major was dirty that.
Oh, yeah, there's other things, but
I'm talking about.
major, yeah, that's material. And I'm gonna have the whole place redone because it's dark and they got this slate on the wall.
That was one of the things I wanted to know, is if you're gonna repair it.
I'm having the whole floor. They got this, it's like a cave when you walk upstairs. All the kitchen cabinets are dark. They use this material on the countertops, it's all dark, all that's coming out. The walls, they have black slate, you can imagine. And you're in a holiday caravan, right? You don't want to be looking at black slate on the wall, so I'm gonna spend a lot of money upstairs, but that's not a repair issue. It's a personal choice issue. Yeah, but floors, I have to, because dust collected.
So I would be, like, if me and you were in the office, I would take some of the questions.
Yeah, it's gonna cost a lot more than that.
It is, yes.
what did you,
I would take 30,000 off.
Can we go to 40?
They can do whatever they want.
Okay.
They can do whatever they want.
All right, I mean, I don't want to negotiate, but me, but that's not really covering what I say.
Okay, so let me ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
In 19.
So there was a, right,
Yes.
there was a discussion about the depreciation, which I heard 5%, but at the same time, if I look at the property card, it's not reflecting
6%. I just didn't see any need there, but it is 6%. 94%. Yeah.
6%, not 15, which is 80-year-old.
Well, the point is that was there any conclusion reached on a different depreciation number that he seemed to indicate would accommodate the cost of flooring.
No.
I was just trying to come to a conclusion on a dollar amount for flooring. Okay? So if we increase depreciation by a certain amount, we would be happy because it would accommodate the flooring. Okay. So I'll let you.
I like that line of logic.
Well, you actually said it, I believe.
Yeah.
Because you said, a different.
It's about the same.
Exactly. That's where I was headed.
Like a square.
Sure.
I can't hear you.
67,000.
Yeah.
For the flooring, don't even indicate or cover all of it, but there's some percentage of it, 50,000. I'm just throwing numbers out there, so.
He was suggesting
So that would be 50%, 35%. You were suggesting 20,000 for that.
30.
Coming down. Yeah. I gave that example.
Yeah, I would. If I can, I might say 34. Yeah, well, 50% of 67 is different. That's okay. We're all in kind of ballpark range here.
76, 60.
What is it, 904?
Question, just out of curiosity, I'm familiar with the street, the ones around it. The other houses on the street are so much less value than that particular house.
I know.
And you have a
Same lot size. Everything. The lot size of the.
Your house is fairly large.
Yeah.
You're bigger than most.
Yeah, I know, yes.
Except for the house.
We're looking
Yeah,
at
the house on the end is a different ballgame. Yeah, we're in the low, we're in the 4-man area.
I just found that
If we don't poke it, because you're, Kathy, you're right, in that the thing that catches my eye is that picture.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. And
what picture?
this is out of his evidence where he laid it out.
Stops the conversation.
That's all my neighbors.
His street and, one street over, one street the other way, and that's kind of jumps out at you.
Yeah, the other question I have is raised, that the comps that we have in here are not on that street. Furlough is in section 3, in section 1, then different prices in those two areas. There's some other houses that we use as comps, I have to go back and look at them that are not in section 1, so they know doesn't have really big, huge, gorgeous houses on it.
No.
It's an older, way older street, one of the first ones built.
Are you asking?
So I'm having a little problem with the whole price in the first place. Comp, as what you comped it against. from other
Okay,
areas.
Mr. Pringle, you bought the house.
Yeah.
In 2019.
What did you pay for it?
Do you mind telling us?
I'd rather not say.
Okay, and that's your.
Because I bought it with boat, furniture, a whole bunch of stuff that, that wouldn't be apples to apples. It's
Yeah.
a lot less than that, I can tell you that. Yeah,
Well, that'd
Yeah.
be interesting to know if you don't want to share that.
yeah. I don't think it's personal. So,
Okay.
yeah, well,
Anyway, I don't know. What do you think about this?
That's okay, we look.
Does that make sense? Anything that you said?
My concerns have more to do with us ruling on the evidence that's provided from Mr. Pringle and from myself. That's my greater concern is whether or not something seems high for Flamingo or not. I don't remember that being part of the evidence. response.
It is.
It is.
I mean, that's
And I
That's his
answered,
evidence,
okay,
and
okay,
that's-
and I answered that. I said it's pretty difficult for an appraisal district, for an appraiser in general, to just look at those numbers and say what they mean, because in those numbers, there's square footage, there's age, there's class.
Oh, yeah.
And there's other items mixed into those numbers, so they're.
Sure, so it would have been really ducky if we had gotten an equity grid, calling in some of these, and I
Other
confess,
properties on the
yeah,
street.
some of these other properties.
Like the house at Five Flamingo, it's a smaller house, but it's an absolutely stunning house. You walk in that house and you think you're in a whole different land. You walk in this house, it's like, Dork City. And you go across the way, they remodeled them. I bet you don't even have the right square footage, to be honest with you, across the way, because they turned garages into living areas and they've added on to things and.
But we know that one of our comps is on Flamingo.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at.
I mean, I don't understand what is being said here. And one of our comps for that matter is on Nassau. I mean, what is the point that you
Well,
guys are
I'll go back to
trying to
your,
make?
to your argument.
Like so much.
If you look at the house on
But I'm
Flamingo,
comping Nassau and Flamingo.
but you're looking at a brand new house, the guy's got a stunning,
2013 build, that's 3,400 square feet. You're a 2010.
what's the address of it?
Well, there's
I just don't understand.
34.
Okay,
You go to 34 Flamingo, it's a whole different ballgame, because you're getting
that's one
into,
of the comps I put in.
but you're getting into Little Bay, you're on Little Bay. I'm way away from Little Bay on the end of the canal, where all the trash collects in the canal.
Okay,
That's consideration.
that's definitely consideration.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, they can see Little Bay. I can't, all I can see is trash in front of my, in the canal.
Sure,
They need
we're gonna be
bring it-
$100,000 underneath that too. And the land adjustment is gonna be $89,000.
That's most of it.
Yeah.
So you're not giving me any credit for the shape of that with our location of the house is, that house will get more per square foot because where it's located, land included.
Okay, so I guess the issue that I'm gonna bring up with this is that that's not the only one. I'm not saying that we're hanging our hat on 34 Flamingo. We're hanging our hat on 34 Flamingo, 14 Bahama, 26 Hooping Crane, and 64 Nassau.
But you can cherry pick it, I can cherry pick it. I came up with 130 something. Whenever I look at my three comps, you can take your three comps and we'll get different numbers. The question is what's fair. And if you look at that grid around my house, I'm sticking out 73% around 6 houses down,
I
up.
have to take issue with cherry picking, guys. This is entered a territory where, this has nothing, no, I'm gonna finish talking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna answer cherry pick. Comp number 1 is a class 6. The subject is a class 6. It's 3,300 square foot to 3,400. Comp number 2, class 6, 3,500 to 3,400.
What's class 6 mean?
Hold on. Comp number 3 is a class 6, 3,200 to 3,400. Comp number 4 is a class 6, 3,400. The effective age, 2013 to 2010, 1992 to 2010, 2001 to 2010, 2009 to 2010. We are not cherry picking. There is not a class 7, there's not a 4,000 square foot house. We're not cherry picking. We just matched class and square footage. That's what we did.
And I think one of the questions is the area. So one of the things I might ask is, Mike's driving right now, is whether we can look at Picto of the area, zoom out far enough so we can get a sense of where these comps are with relationship to the subject property. Because there may be some belief that some discussion to be had about, which area we're comping against this target.
Which one?
He does have some comps that are in the area. My point was that Whooping Crane, Curlew, are a whole different animal in terms, and you know that. and
Sure,
they're
that's why I brought
location.
up Nassau
I see
and
that.
Flamingo.
But it's also at the end of the canal, which I think you agree is a detrimental property, a big detriment, as a matter of fact. So, and also the sections that they're in, as I said before, this is section 1, which is properties are selling now, they're selling the millions and all, they're in section 4.
That's not true. There's $1 million selling Mazatlan. There's $1 million sale on Mazatlan this year.
No, that closed. That's never gonna get $1 million. That's right across the canal from me. House will never get that.
Well, it's already got it.
No, it doesn't. No, sir.
We have it as already. Get that.
It's
We
not
already,
closed.
we already have the deed transaction. We've already switched owners' names.
No.
Because it's been,
I think you didn't
the
pay that
county
for it.
courthouse has it.
Well,
I don't think we need to get into that.
No, we've already made, yes, and continue. We've already come down from 929 to 904,660.
We're 876.
I'm sorry?
876.
876.60. Well, no, but we came down to 904, and then you're minusing a 35,000 from that, right? Right. So, but yet we have a recommendation for a 30.
I'm sorry?
We have a recommendation for a 30, is what the appraiser said, 30,000, right, for the flooring.
No, it's 877. That make
See, yes, ma'am.
60,
66 is what it was. So 50% of
okay,
33.
50% of that, okay. And he said he would be okay with 30, so we're looking at,
Well, I was hoping you'd get some more consideration here than for the location and everything else. So if you're gonna say that's the end of the discussion, then maybe we should revisit that.
no, I didn't say it's the end of the discussion.
It's right there. Your house is.
Simple.
The blue.
So we got Flamingo and.
Pocket line is the first line, Flamingo. What is the one like? Can we pull out a little bit?
Sure. Which direction would you like to go? Like this?
The other way, down, I'm sorry.
Sandpiper, Pelican, Luau, Whooping Crane.
My point is.
Yeah, I mean,
And any other.
I'm swearing in at this point. Where are we at? Are y'all in deliberation?
yeah.
My name is Michael Soto. I do solemnly swear from the testimony shall present to the appraisal review board for the Aransas County Prison District is true and correct. How are you doing? Good. So I'd be glad to answer any question that the ARB would like to have in reference to the evidence that's been presented and the evidence only. So.
Yeah, okay, fine. So
can I point out one thing in the evidence that
Sure.
was presented in the evidence?
in whose evidence? Your evidence
In the district's evidence.
Okay.
Look at the card. It was asked and not answered, but the sale price is definitely there. So don't get all twisted about, this is something that the subject property owner paid. And then there's been 3 years.
I'm trying to find that.
Okay, look at the card, it's right there. And then there's been 3 years of appreciation in a market that's very robust. And we're talking about going below that number? No, sir.
What are you showing as a sales price?
I'm showing 849 and change.
No, that's nowhere, no.
Okay, sir.
I don't know, where'd you get your data from? Where did you get it, sir?
Okay, I'm gonna look for you, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Looks like a seller's questionnaire.
No, I never sent in a seller's questionnaire.
No, you didn't do it. The seller turned a questionnaire in.
No, there was other things. There was a boat that is gone. There was
Again,
furniture that was gone. There was other things. There was all the contents in this garage and stuff. That price wasn't applicable.
are you to the deliberation phase?
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Okay, so unless you're gonna ask the district any more questions, we've presented the evidence that's there. You said 904 minus 30, you're to 876, and that's where the district is fine with. If you're considering anything else, we'd be glad to answer any questions.
Well, that's where we were.
Which is what? Okay, so the evidence presented, again, we can show it to you. Sure.
Can I put them in the canal adjustment on that is what you're wanting to know? Probably not.
Okay,
I mean,
so
that's why there's not one
It's not really a big.
Yeah, we usually do the.
It would be better if it was at the end, actually. 'cause I-
Right here, there would be an adjustment here. Is that the question?
Yeah. that was-
Okay, so then we go back to the pictometry. Where are we at here? Pictometry. And so the end of canal is considered this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. It's really the end for, it's not towards the end. So it does not have an adjustment. That's the answer to the question.
Can I say one thing? That, the rotation in that canal, all the trash comes right up in front of that house. So it's effectively, if you're sitting there in the evening and you're seeing neighbors trash collecting in front of my place, I got to get my net out and pull trash out of the canal because it's effectively at the end of the canal. So I don't know what your trigonometry or whatever you were saying there is, but it's not the best location, I can tell you, on that canal.
So can you, on the picture from his property, do we know which direction the addresses go? Is one flamingo at the end of the canal, or is it at the beginning of the street?
One is at the end, at the street, at the end of the canal.
Can we see the picture again, please?
Sure.
So one would be like down there at 24.
One of those two.
I don't know how to adjust it, but it defies, to me, it defies explanation why this sticks out. And this is in the owner's evidence where he's compared against all those properties, and you moving away from the picture. Yeah.
I'm sorry. What would you like?
Go back to the picture. Okay, so.
What defies logic for you, Scott?
Okay, 929, 616, 477, 463.
Would you like to investigate the owner's evidence in detail? Is that what you're asking me to do? Just pick one. Pick one. Pick one, and I'll be glad to show you the differences. Well, the reality is
there may be some explanation that just pops out. You know, Ray could say something, or you might.
No, we would show it.
We would show it to you. Just pick one.
So we're gonna go.
Pick one, but let's not go ad nauseum without doing the same for ours. Like, investigate ours. We're asking you to give it equal footing is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so
fine.
pick one, pick one.
But we are using equal footing because I'm
Pick
using your number
one,
for the rest
pick
of the
one,
houses.
pick one, Mr. Waggart. Pick one.
Pick
Mr.
one
Mike,
of
we're using your
these.
number.
Pick whichever one you want to go look at, and we can talk about the differences.
You're saying in collection. is what
I
you're saying.
can't have, may I borrow this? Okay. So. Bimini, 8 curlew. In comparison to Flamingo Road. Where is that? Where is 8 curlew?
Curlew's in Unit 5.
Well, go, zoom
Sure.
out if you got to.
Sure. I think this is curlew right here.
Okay, so.
8 curlew, is that what you said? 8?
Yes.
So 8 curlew is probably going to be somewhere in this vicinity, right?
Okay, so to me, that's not a really interesting comp because it's on the other side of
Which one of the comps? Is that his comp or my comp?
that's yours.
Okay, great. That's a great point. So would we like to look at 8 curlew and look at the differences or the similarities?
No, I don't even want to consider it because it's too far away from, to me, it doesn't make sense to use that as a comp because it's too far away from the subject property. Pick another comp that you've got.
Okay,
which
well,
is
you're welcome to do that in your opinion of value therein. But I will say that the land, which is the only difference between the two, is adjusted negative $92,000. That comp is appropriately adjusted, Mr. Waggart. It's minus $92,000 worth of value. So for the reason that you just indicated, we've made an appropriate adjustment. But again, let's pick another one.
Well, hang on, and that's a perfect explanation,
Thank
which
you.
would have come.
But
To
we
some
said, but we do
extent.
that all the time. Like, this is not new. We do adjustments all the time.
Well, but there may be some other,
Sure,
there may be some other considerations, like,
absolutely.
like you talk about the land, okay, that's one thing, but there are other things that the property owner has suggested in terms of the placement of, where his house is, where his property is, in comparison to, on the canal. And the fact, that maybe there is some factor of the fact that he's got all this trash floating in front of his house every night, right? I don't know. And we wouldn't be having this discussion as so in depth, to me at least. I'm sorry?
We didn't know that choice. I think that's what bothers us.
Right, the thing that just kind of is,
Scott, can I say something?
yeah, go ahead.
The reason that it's like that is because we're matching class and square footage best we can. Now, just hold on a second. We can't get everything. We can't match class, square footage, location. We can't get it all. So we have to pick. We have to pick. So if we would have said, don't mess with class and location, get everything that's on Flamingo, then we would have massive adjustments for class and square footage. And this is why. His house is one of the best houses on the street. It's large and it's a good house. And that's why we have to pick. And there are expensive sales on other streets. Nassau has $800,000 sales. Riviera has $800,000 sales. That's in our sales ratio report. It seems like that you shouldn't pay $800,000 for a house on Flamingo, but people do. People paid $1 million for a house on Mazatlan. They did it. That's the part that's tricky here, is the unit stuff with Key Allegro unit 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's not exactly like that. People are buying nice, are building nice stuff in other places. Riviera is gonna flip. It's not gonna be the old street anymore. It's gonna be the new street.
Right.
But it's gonna be in unit 1.
And I'm not, the thing I've been focusing on is equity and not market.
Okay, we can go to equity, and here's our equity grid.
Right.
Mr. Weigert.
Oh, I understand, but he's kind of borne out the point, which is if all you're doing is looking at class and age, that may not be sufficient.
Right, but we do adjust for land as well, sir. Do you see the land adjustment right here? Like, we're getting the best that we can on a class 6 across the board. See the class 6, they're all class 6s. We're getting as close as we can to living area. We're getting as close as we can to the effective age.
But you can't.
But what's the difference? The difference is the land, and we adjust for that. So what are you asking us to do?
Well, it's, our point is that I don't know that it's necessarily valid to be picking, even if you're talking about comparison of class and land and adjustments along that way. When you're picking a comp that is all the way across on the other side of the bloody subdivision.
But it's not, sir. It's on the same. You just, Mr. Weigert, you just said you're focusing on equity. Our very first comp is on the same street. Like, what do you want from us?
It's.
And at the end of the
Wait
day,
a minute, hang on. Tell me that 34 Flamingo
is a better lot, and it's adjusted, sir.
And where is 34 Flamingo with respect to 7 Flamingo?
Okay. Of course. And we
You can
adjust
see
for
Little
that.
Bay. It's not that, it's more than that. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be talking.
No,
It's a lot
I
more than
will
that.
let you make a comment.
Yeah, because it's a lot more than that. Whenever you have a house that you build the same size there versus here, it's more than that land price. You're seeing Key Allegro, you're seeing Allegro Bay, you're seeing the fireworks on the 4th of July. That's what everybody wants. You know it. You do this more than we do, Mr. Mike.
I sure do. And I think that the number of 876 is right where it needs to be. That's my opinion of value. The board can rule how they want.
Yeah.
The reality is we've adjusted for all our comps and they cannot, what they have to do is they have to just make a determination. If they feel that my number is more appropriate than your number, they pick mine. If they feel that your number is more appropriate, your number is 833. I think that's what you
We're not
provide.
that far apart.
Well, yeah, again, the number that you provided in your evidence is 833. We provided 876. I don't know why we're spending so much time.
I think we could probably solve this by going somewhere in the middle, like 850, 660. Counts a little bit for the trash situation, which he has indicated on the road, is a definite problem. I understand that. So I can't sit here all day and debate this. We're gonna make a decision.
Yeah,
That would be mine. From my standpoint, I think all have to.
So if that's something we take into account. that
We can, we certainly can.
Absolutely.
I'm more comfortable with 876.
Yeah. Oh, my.
876.
I'm at the 876.60.
No, 87, I'm sorry, 876.60.
Where did that come from?
The
That was-
876.60 is what we talked about.
Right.
Oh, the 876.66.
Right.
Which was taking the 39.
How much
870,000.
credit for the floor?
That was the 34,000.
34?
Yeah.
That's what you all were.
Yes.
I don't know that I understand. What was for the square footage adjustment, where we at?
We were at 904,660 for the adjustment for the.
So you take 34 of that, you get 870, not 876.
That, well,
870,
870,660.
Oh, 870.
Yes.
876.60, that's what it is.
What, 870,660.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's cool. I mean, that's what you guys want to do.
All right.
I'm taking this time as it is.
Make a motion.
It's not gonna be but a couple $100 a year, I guess.
Well, yeah, I just had
You're right, I
an internal issue myself in looking at a picture like that and trying to rationalize how that happens.
No, look, you guys have a hard job here. All the, how we're going.
We generally don't have to get into this level of nits and lies.
Can you,
All right, let's just make a motion here. Guardian account, I'm sorry, ID 2022-33, account number 24808. Addressing correct market value, appraisal, CDB, appraisal. Treasury board is recommending. We can vote on this, right?
Yes.
The recommendation is that we reduce the value based on square footage and incorrect value on square footage and subtracting something for the deficiencies in the flooring, which would bring the price down to the noted value to 870,660.
A second.
All in favor?
Clyde,
Anybody opposed?
Steve.
Huh?
Steve, do you shake hands or do you do this?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm opposed as well.
I appreciate your data
Okay.
Okay,
and,
but it's still good.
all the stuff that happened in here.
That's fine.
No,
We'll move past
look, I
that.
think it's a lot worse.
Hey, when you did Brown and Root, did you do Harbor Island
Okay,
or
so,
did you do corporate level?
No,
Just get rid of it.
right,
I didn't get.
Jackie, did you catch that?
What?
There were 3 in favor and 2 opposed.
Oh, yes, I got it. You're good.
Okay,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
great.
Back in Halliburton days?
That's Brown and Root managed it, right? It was Brown and Root and Halliburton is-
Yeah, we normally don't go into that level of detail, but that's the thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
okay.
Well, we can't.
right, so it's done.
I understand.
Odyssey and Vastar.
Okay.
BP.
That's beautiful. You know,
It was our favorite place to go. There was a.
This is yours.
Wade that worked there.
Yeah.
Sure,
Scotty would like, and they had.
Yeah,
well,
well,
and
that's what I'm calling these salads. They really want to make
And when they
it
built this
look
bypass out here, he
Taking
was
our
driving to
shower
work and got killed in the head.
Are we
He
done?
was really-
Oh, wow.
But he was our Brown and Root welder. The bypass out here didn't use center.
Okay.
And so you could do ongoing
Yeah.
before the meeting.
You have to track.
Okay.
No, we are.
Yeah.
And I don't know of any other business today.
Maybe not all.
Okay.
Really?
Curtains coming down?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Again,
Appreciate it.
sorry.
That's good.
Sorry for the delay.
I like this already better than your argument.
Yeah.
Well, hey, well, you did a good job. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Hopefully I won't see you guys next year, but probably will.
We'll be here.
Hey, is there ever use these companies to do the podcast?
No, I don't,
O'Connor guy and wherever.
in comparison,
Hey, you don't want to close the meeting? You're on.
yeah, let's adjourn.
We're done?
Yeah,
I'll make a motion to adjourn for the day.
Second.
anybody opposed? Okay, we are adjourned.
No.
Not on